as you people know, it was not done in the first online classes as well as offline classes, even though it was there for C++ syllabus. Okay. So now I will do it. Okay. You will not, because if suppose if I start from word processing, you may get bored because it is not related to C++. So we have learned C++ till now, okay, from introduction to C++ till functions chapter we have learned, okay. And this is somewhat interesting chapter only. It's not a kind of only theory. We have programs in that, okay. So one or two programs we can see, but it's a small chapter. So when we talk about programming languages, actually we can say like it is vast subject. We cannot say like we can complete in 1 month or 1 semester or 1 year. We cannot say like this is the particular thing. It is there for syllabus. So once we complete it, yes, this programming language is completed. We cannot say like that. Okay, because I hope you know one who invented C language. He himself tells C is like a sea. You just look at these wordings. So what he said, C language is like a sea. Then how we can complete learning total C language? It's not at all. If C itself is like C, then what about C++? We can then think like it is like ocean. Okay. Then so what is the solution for this? How to learn? See how much it is there for academics and how much it is required to get knowledge so that we will get into the job. That much is learn, it's enough. Okay, it's not a problem. Okay. So now we will discuss about the structures chapter. Okay. So before I go in depth of structures chapter, so you the let us recall. That means let us do revision of the introduction to C++ till functions chapter. If at all little bit, because if you have background knowledge of the variables, data types, memory location, then if you learn structures, it will be very easy. Okay. So if we have forgotten all those things, then directly if you go for structures, you may not understand. So background knowledge in the sense like the identifier concept, variable concept, and data type concept. Okay, arrays concept. These things you should know. Okay. See, if I say declaration of variables, I hope you people have heard about this word. We have come across in one of the chapters. So that is declaration of variables. Okay. So when I say declaration of variables, so declaration means to decide. The meaning of declaration is, see, not only with respect to C++, if you consider in the real world also, declare means to decide, to plan the work. Okay. So here declaration of variable means before you use the variable in a program, first you have to declare. First you have to decide that this variable I am using. That is this type of variable I am using. Or we can say this variable name I am using. Okay, that is nothing but declaration. So as you people know, in say when writing C++ program, we have used these statements like int a, okay, float b, char, character c. So these type of statements we have used in C++ programming language. So these type of statements are called as declaration statements. Okay. So these type of statements are called as declaration statements. So why they have called it as declaration statement is because at these lines we are deciding, we are planning that these variable names we are using in the program. That is in future after these lines we will write the program. So in program we are using these variables. So variable name is A, variable name is B, and variable name is C. Okay. So these variables we are using in the program. So in addition to the variable name, one more thing we are using, that is data type. Okay. So the purpose of data type is two things you will come to know. One is, see how much amount of memory we are using. First thing, so how much amount of memory we are using. Second thing, type of value we are storing in a variable. Okay, type of value we are storing in a variable. Remember, why we have to use data type means we will come to know amount of memory we are using to store the value in these variables, and type of value we are using. That means type of value we are storing in these variables. See, these things may be your interview questions also in future. Okay, so whenever you learn basic things, learn perfectly. You should not forget at all. Because see, after completion of degree, when you go for an interview, you may think like interviewer may ask to write one program. Okay, sometimes he will ask, but to test the basic knowledge, he may ask, what is the purpose of data type? Simple question. Then you may think like, why it has a simple question? It's not a simple question. We have to remember the points. We have to tell data type is required for two reasons. To know the amount of memory we are using for the variables to store the value, and type of the value we are storing in the variable. Okay. Now, if suppose if I declare the variable that is a of type integer, so this means that I can store integer value in this variable. First thing is I can store integer value in this variable. Second thing is, okay, so 2 bytes of memory this variable is using 2 bytes of memory. So integer value and 2 bytes of memory. And one more thing is, in addition to this, see, at a time I can store single value. This is very important. At a time in this variable I can store single value. That is, see, suppose after this line, if I write a is equals to 10, so in variable a, value 10 will be stored. In variable a, value 10 will be stored. Okay. Then in the next line, if I change this value to 20, okay. So what happens here is both 10 and 20 will not occupy memory. Okay. So this point you have to understand, because before I go to structure, you should understand this concept. Both 10 and 20 will not occupy in the memory. So 10 will be replaced by 20. So new value of a will be so 20. And again, in the next line, if I write a is equals to 30, okay, again 30 will replace 20, that is 20 will be replaced by 30. So new value of a will be 30. So that means whenever you are using variables which stores single value, remember which stores a single value, then if you change the values, those values are replaced, it is not added. This point you would remember, it is not added. Now next thing is, if suppose if I want to store all these values 10, 20 and 30 in variable a, is it possible? First thing, see, this is, I am asking a question for you people. If you tell the answer yes, how it is you have to tell. If you tell the answer no, you should say why. You have to tell the reason, you have to justify the answer. Because you know this answer. Okay. So I have done that chapter. So now tell me whether I can store all these values in variable a. Is it possible? Can anybody tell the answer? You can speak and tell. It's not a problem. Can I store more than one value in single variable? Is it possible? Are people there? It's a simple question. Can I store more than one value in one variable? No. So one answer I got as no. Next, anybody else? See, people should be active. Only one person answered no. See, in other words, I will ask a question for you people. Can I store more than one value in one identifier? That means, if suppose if I am telling I have stored 10, 20, 30, can I refer all these values by one identifier? Is it possible? No, Yashwant, so he said no. See, once again you try to understand the question. Can I store more than one value by referring with one identifier? Because variable is nothing but identifier. Variable is nothing but an identifier. So I am asking question, can I store more than one value by using one identifier? So here the answer is yes. Okay, we can store more than one value by using one identifier? Answer is yes. See, that concept is nothing but arrays. Only I asked you questions. We have done this chapter. Correct? We have discussed this chapter. The concept is nothing but arrays. We can store more than one value. That is by using one identifier. That concept is nothing but arrays. Array is nothing but you can say variable or an identifier. So array is a collection of elements with same name and same type. So collection of elements means what? You can store more than one value. Collection means one or more. So only you can store more than one value in arrays. So then comes the concept of arrays. So from variables which store single value, we are moving to the next concept, that is nothing but the arrays. So array is a collection of elements with same name and same type. Now I'm moving to the concept called as arrays because if I want to store more than one value in one particular variable or an identifier, then we have to use the concept as arrays. So array is nothing but collection. So we can say collection of elements or collection of values. Okay, collection of elements, or you can say collection of values. So we can achieve this, that is storing more than one value in one variable, that is one identifier, that is nothing but arrays. But here also one drawback is there. See, we have, when we look at the drawback of one particular concept, then we will overcome the drawback in new concept. Okay. See, what is the drawback of the variable which stores single value? So we cannot store more values. That is the drawback. Okay, by using data type int and a. So a is a variable which stores one particular value. If you try to store more values, those are replaced. So those are not added, those are replaced. So we have come across the concept called as arrays. Arrays means it is the collection of values or collection of elements. So when we discuss about the arrays, here the concept is like see, we will take the same thing, that is int a. So a is a variable of data type int. Now, if suppose if I want to store two values, so let me take it as like a is equals to 10, so a is equals to 20. See, if if we are not calling it as an array, then this is not possible. Because when you store the value 10, yes, 10 is stored in memory. When you store the value 20 will replace the 10. Now, if I want to store two values in this variable, what I have to do is, instead of making it as a variable which stores single value, that is identifier which stores single value. See, remember, identifier is the general term. You have to remember this word. Identifier is the general term. You can apply for any concept like variable, array, function, pointers, structure variable, like that. Okay, identifier is a general term. Now you make this identifier as an array. Now it is a variable. That identifier is a now variable. You make it as an array. So how to make it as an array? You mention the size. So how many values you want to store here? You mention the size. Now I want to store two values. So mention 2. Understood? I hope people are getting it. See, if you don't mention the size here, then you cannot achieve this concept, because once this statement is executed in memory, so value 10 will be stored. And again, once this statement is executed, it will replace the new value of variable a is 20. So 20 will not be added, 20 will replace the 10. Now if I want to store both the values, and it should be referred by one variable name only, that is one identifier name only, then here you mention the size. In this square bracket, that is just you call it as a bracket, you mention the size. Okay. So if I mention size 2, then you can achieve this. When you mention the size 2, okay. So when you mention the size 2, you can achieve this. So how to achieve that again? You cannot write directly a is equals to 10 and a is equals to 20. Some method is there. So that method is, first of all, see these, if you are storing two values, these two values are stored in two different locations. Okay, when you draw the memory representation of this, how you have to draw this? You have to draw like this. Two different memory locations. In one location, first value is stored, and in another location, second value is stored. So first location, there is for first location there is an index, that is the position called as 0. In the second location there is a position called as 1. So whenever I want to store two values here, instead of writing just a is equals to 10, what I have to write is a of 0 is equals to 10. I have to call it as a of 0. A of 0 is equals to 10. Then a of 1 is equals to 20. Then what happens? So in location 0, 10 is stored. In location 1, 20 is stored. Understood? So in location 0, 10 is stored. In location 1, 20 is stored. And this entire thing is referred by the variable a. That is nothing but this is this. Now you don't call it as by word variable. You call it as by word array. Okay, fine. So this much we have achieved. Now here also there is one drawback. What is the drawback? You look at the definition: collection of values with the same name and the same type. So the same type itself is drawback. Because if suppose if I want to store two values, let me consider first value I will store it as integer. Second value I will store it as like floating point value. That is real number 5.25. It is fractional value. So integer part, decimal point, and fractional part. So this is not possible. Remember, this is not possible. Even though we have option to store two values, but it cannot store like this. First integer, second floating point, or first floating point, second integer. Like that, it cannot store because depends on this. What you mentioned. I have mentioned the data type as int, so you cannot store floating point value. One integer and one floating point value you cannot store. Either both should be integers or both should be floating point value. That is the drawback of array. You have to store the elements which should belong to the same type. If you are writing like a of 0 is equals to 1.5, a of 1 is equals to 2.5. So this is correct when you say float a of 2. So this is correct when you say float a of 2. And if you say a of 0 equals to 10, a of 1 equals to 20, this is correct when in data type is int. But when you write it like this, you cannot write the prototype or data type either float or int. You cannot write because one is integer and one is floating point. So this is the drawback. That means collection of values with same type is the drawback. But when we go to the structure, this drawback we can overcome. So definition says collection of elements with same type or different type. Understood? Collection of elements with same type or different type. So in that case, what happens? You can store one integer value and one floating point value. And if you are storing, let me consider four values: one integer, one floating point value, one character, one double. So values of all the data types you can store. That is the concept of structures. So if you come across the question like, what is the difference between arrays and structure? Okay, if you come across the question, what is the difference between arrays and structure? One main difference you have to tell. That is, in arrays, you have to store the elements of the same type. In structure, you can store the elements of same or different. You cannot say, you should not say different type only directly. Same or different type. So you see, you can store 1020, you can store 10 5.25, you can store 1.5, 2.5. So these two are same type values. This is the different type values. So this can be achieved in structure. So that those things we will see in the next class in detail. Okay. So definition of structure is collection of elements with same name and same or different type. It can be same type or different type. But in case of arrays, collection of elements with the same name and same type. Compulsory it should be same type in case of arrays. In case of structures, it can be same or different type. So disadvantage of arrays, it is overcome by that is structure concept. Okay. So main difference between arrays and structure is array is a collection of elements with same name and same type. Structure is a collection of elements with same name and same or different type. So we can achieve that is to store different types of values in structures, whereas in arrays it is not possible. Okay. So we will continue in the next class. Okay. So meanwhile, I will be sending the notes of everyday classes. So you can go through the notes. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Okay. So if you have any doubts, you can ask now. So still time is there. And meanwhile, if you come across any doubts, you can ask. Okay, see, about exams is like